Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the October 15, 2024 Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors meeting. Call this meeting to adjourn. If you would offer. Shortest meeting ever. My mind's somewhere else. Call this meeting to order. And we're going to start off with Pledge of Allegiance and an invocation by Sandy Gunnarsson with the City Ministry Network. I'm going to have former District 5 Supervisor Jim DeMartini lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Heavenly Father, thank you for today. Thank you for our community. I pray that each of the citizens of our county would find joy and hope, health provision, and a deep sense of community and fulfillment in their lives. I ask that the broken parts of our community would find restoration. I pray that families would thrive, businesses would prosper, our schools would flourish, that farms would richly produce, neighborhoods would experience peace and healthy relationships. May this truly be a great community to grow up in and to grow old in for every citizen. I pray for our leaders who are here this evening. I pray that you would bless them. I also pray that you would bless their families, friendships, health, and their businesses. Protect them, lead them, help each of them come to fully know the depth of your love for them. I pray that the integrity as a leader with courage and humility guide their discussion and their decisions on every agenda item this evening. I pray this in your holy name. Amen.
Thank you for those words. Appreciate it. All right, next we have presentations, and it is Italian American Heritage Month in Stanislaus County, and conducting the presentation will be Melanie Parker Gomez, President of Sons and Daughters of Italy Modesto Lodge 2021. Welcome, Melanie. And
Buonasera, Chairman and members of the board. Thank you for the introduction. Now I don't need to tell anything about me right now. Back in the 1900s, Italian immigrants established a presence throughout North America. The Italian communities bloomed across the country. Italian immigrants and their descendants were laborers, steelworkers, miners, masons, firemen, business owners, sportsmen, entertainers, bankers, and farmers. Some of the well-known Italians are A.P. Giannini, opened up the Bank of Italy, which is now Bank of America, the largest banking institution. In our sporting world, Joe DiMaggio brings great pleasure and joy knowing that he won 9 World Series champions for the Yankees. Rocky Marciano, everyone knows how great of a heavyweight champion he was. In our entertainment, we see Frank Sinatra, Dean Martin, Enrico Caruso. These are musical legends that will never die. In 1870, the city of Modesto was formed, and it was the beginning of building the community for the future community of Modesto: water, wealth, contentment, and health. Italian immigrants came to Modesto. In 1925, Nikolai Shabika found Modesto to be very much like his home in Sicily. And he said it felt like home. Here he settled his roots. And today, Shabika Oil is the oldest continued producing olive oil company in the United States. In 1925, we had Ernest and Giulio Gallo, who came here to Modesto. And today, Gallo is the largest wine producer in the United States, in the world, and is also the longest family-owned business here in the United States. In 1905, the Fraternal Order of the Sons and Daughters of Italy in America was established. In 1952, the Modesto Lodge 2021 was established. Some of our members of our lodge have been prominent in the city of Modesto. Many of you may remember Frank Muratori. He was a prominent figure in Modesto. He was on the Planning Commission Board. He was also on the Board of Zoning and held the position of vice mayor. Our lodge continues to give to our community in charities, scholarships, and medical research. We are proud to be Italian Americans. We are proud to be Italian Americans in Modesto. And on the behalf of Modesto Lodge 2021, we ask that you proclaim October as Italian Heritage Month. Grazie.
Thank you so much. We have our Supervisor Vito Chiesa and Supervisor Chance Condit going down to say a few comments and present the proclamation.
Thank you very much, Melanie. You guys come on up. Everyone come on up while we're talking. So this is always a great time, and this actually started with Supervisor Jim DiMartini for many years. He led the charge on this, and so now Chance, who's a quarter Italian, right? Quarter Italian. So now we still have two Italians on the board, but I'm always proud, and I always think the same thoughts. This country was built on immigrants. You just have to remember that, and Italians obviously have a huge heritage. My dad and Roberto Bulgari, right over here, who's at the end of the line here, his dad and my dad came across the ocean, the Atlantic Ocean, left to Genoa, and they were neighbors in Salvagnac. Literally, their houses are next to each other. They hit Ellis Island the same day, came and settled in Stanislaus County, and at the same time, there were brothers that sponsored them to come over here, the Bulgari family, and I think about the process and why they came here, right? They were escaping Mussolini and Hitler and the World War II, and that's much of what you would find out from all these folks in the early 1900s. And immigration has never stopped, right? It's a melting pot here in the United States, and I think that the hungriness of people have created what we have here in the United States that is so special compared to the rest of the world. And it's a lot of times it's people escaping poverty and or wars or some sort of something that's not so good, for lack of a better word. I'm proud as I can be to always talk about what it's meant for my family and what it's meant for all my friends in Houston, because there's a large Italian population, and maybe I wasn't as successful as the Gallos and the Gianninis and some of these other folks, but we continue to try and do our part to make this a better community. So I'm going to let Chance say something before I read part of the proclamation.
I don't have much to add other than I'm proud to be Italian, and thank you for all the great contributions to our community and to this country.
Yep. A couple of things that I always like to point out, that in the 20th century, Italians were actually the largest immigrant group in the United States. Right now, currently, they're the 5th largest ethnic group with over 18 million folks. And whereas the Italian Americans support our community with organizations such as the Order Sons and Daughters of Italy in America and Central Valley Sons of Italy Foundation, who work hard to preserve our traditions and family values. They support our local charities and provide college scholarships each year to our local high school students. They believe in working together as a community so everyone can benefit. Now, therefore, be it resolved that the Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors does hereby proclaim the month of October 2024 as Italian Heritage Month in Stanislaus County upon motion by Supervisor Buck Condit, second by myself, on a 5-0 vote. So again, do any of you want to say a few words? You have something? I see it.
No, I'm good. My husband was Italian as well as myself, but he was a Paoni.
A Paoni. A Paoni. That's good. What was your mom's name? Maiden name? Bellone. Bellone, Bulgari. There's lots of Bulgarians in Houston.
Yeah.
I'm white.
Hawaiian. I love this. I want you to know that Hawaii is one of the United States. States. Okay, so anyways, we're going to get in. Let's go half on this side and half on the other side. And see, I'm going to. Yep. Oh, I'd rather you stand. Okay. Come on, get in close.
Okay, is that better? Oh, yeah. He's tall. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I'll be sending you an application now. And Dean Martini.
Rita, you going to join us? Oh, sorry. I thought that was you.
Vito, do you want to keep that
Exactly. Yeah. And then this presentation isn't on the agenda, but while one of our county supervisors who was on a fact-finding mission to Italy, he got presented with an award, so we wanted to make sure he got acknowledged publicly for the award that he received. Supervisor Chiesa will do the presentation.
Yep, so Supervisor Withrow was on his 40th anniversary, and he was up in Lake Como, and I think he might have even gotten remarried again, to the same woman, by the way. So, while he was gone, he received an award, so I went on his behalf. It was from the West Modesto Community Collaborative, and it presents to Terry Withrow, Stanislaus County Board of Supervisors, District 3, in recognition, you got something down the wrong, in recognition of your outstanding leadership and unwavering support of the West Modesto Community Collaborative, fostering positive change and making a lasting impact in our community. And it was really nice because Prefecto Munoz had talked about all of the things you've done in that community, but he recounted your walks every single week, picking up garbage on the Helen White Memorial Trail, and just being present and making a difference in the community. So again, I was lucky enough to go pick this up, but this is something he's going to cherish. And I put it inside my curio because I thought no one would read the name. They would think I got some sort of an award, and I forgot to bring it at the last meeting. So again, on behalf of the West Community Collaborative.
All right. Well, congratulations for that acknowledgement, Supervisor Withrow. Well deserved. Next, public comment period. Public comments time for those in attendance to speak on items not already on today's agenda. Please state your name for the record, direct all comments toward the dais, and so it is fair for everyone, please keep your comments to 5 minutes. I do have one public comment card with Brian Evans.
How you all doing today? I'm Brian. Anyway, my comment, we'll start off where I left off last time with the roads and Chance. Anyway, we have probably an extra 5 million cars in the state today after all the illegal immigrants have moved. So our roads are getting really wore out a lot. And you start thinking about that 5 million, that's like 10 counties worth of cars. So we're really having to catch up on our roads, because we're way behind when we dump that many cars from illegals. Most of them have 2 cars. We have more cars than we have people as it is. So sometimes I think we should just turn around and start looking at maybe we should turn this state red, because it's time for a change. We can't keep on being a sanctuary state. We can't keep on letting this happen to us, because it's driving our costs up as counties, you know, and each county is going to have to fulfill that loss. We can't keep up with it. Obviously, what we went through with our own roads, we can't keep up with it. When we start looking at it at a state level, and you go to the Bay Area anymore, it's bumper to bumper. You're going to be doing 5 miles an hour, go, stop, go, stop. We can't keep up with it. So we got to start thinking, you know, we can't be a sanctuary state anymore. So let's try to change this. Maybe we'll start here in our own community, but at least it's a start. We can't always say, here, everybody just come for free. We don't care who you are, criminals. We don't care if you're turning around and you work for the Chinese, or you turn around and you're working for the cartel, or you're working for any of that, because we don't know. We don't know these people. We don't know. The cars aren't registered half the time. You'll see them on the road. No registration, no registration. They're not smogged. How do we change this? Well, we got to change the sanctuary. Say, this is our port of entry. This is California. Any good general would know, hey, let's protect the ports of entry. If we're going to have an invasion, they talk about surrection. When the state people take over their own state property, that really isn't a surrection. A surrection is when it comes over our borders, and that's what we got to look at. And a good general knows that your port of entries should not be taken over. So let's try to control it. So let's start right here with us. Maybe we can make it grow and get the other counties to. Let's try to turn it at least purple. That's what we need to do. And I hope that maybe all the people out here can understand that too, because it hurts all of us, And that's really all I got to say. Just something to say that maybe the community will pick up on. Okay, thanks, Manny. Terry?
All right, thank you, Brian. Appreciate it.
All right,
All right, any other people in the audience wanting to speak in public comment that didn't have a card? All right, seeing none, I'm going to bring you back to the consent calendar. I do have public comment for the record on item B8.
I'd like to A27.
And then if there's...
A32 as well. A32 as well.
A27 and A32.
A27, A32?
B9, sorry.
B9, all right, bingo. So, item B8's read into the agenda, the public comment, and then I'm going to take it, item A27, pulled by Supervisor Chiesa.
We're going to take them one by one.
I'll take the three and then do consent. Or I can do, let's do it another way. Let's do all items, consent items, I'd entertain a motion excluding A27, A32, and B9.
Okay, motion to approve.
Second.
All right, motion by Supervisor Chiesa, second by Supervisor Withrow. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. And then the individual items, starting with A27.
Yeah, on A27, thank you very much, Mr. Chair. It's the approval of the appointment to the California State Association of Counties. I think the proper way they have myself as the primary and you as the alternate, I want to flip-flop that, put you as the primary and me as the alternate. And so I'm going to make a motion to put Supervisor Raywall as the primary and myself as the alternate.
All right, I got a motion, don't have a second, so I'm going to floor this. All right, I got a motion by Supervisor Chiesa, do I have a second?
Second.
All right, second by Supervisor Buck-Condit. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 5-0, thank you. Item 832, Supervisor Chance Condit.
Thank you, Chairman. I just noticed a spelling error for Shirley. It's Shirley M. Rogers, and she is going to be my new addition, my new appointee to the Commission on Aging. I know she'll do a fabulous job, and I'm looking forward to, this going through. Thank you.
All right.
Is that a motion?
She was at the meeting yesterday, already checking in before the appointment and catching up on COA.
She's a go-getter, so I think we got to go out to public and come back, and I'll make a motion.
All right, anybody in the public have a comment on this item? Seeing none, I'm going to bring it back to the board for a possible motion.
I move to approve.
Second.
All right, got a motion by Supervisor Chance Condit, second by Supervisor Buck Condit. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Item B9, being pulled by Supervisor Withrow.
This is no big deal, I wanted to just be a second vote, or a separate vote than just part of the regular consent. This is in addition to Italian Heritage Month. November is also, nationally, is Veterans and Military Families Month, and this is the first time our county's recognized that. And it just, we recognize veterans all the time, but I just love that we're recognizing the families in this month, that we also recognize the families and the sacrifices that they make, having their children and their parents and their spouses serve our country. I think we've got about 20,000 veterans here in our county, and there's about, I think about 160,000 currently serving in California, that are from California, that actually are serving our country right now. So just wanted to point this out. I'm not going to read through the resolution, or the proclamation, I'm sorry, but I just wanted everybody to take the time, in your spare time, read through that. It just makes you think of the sacrifices that these families are making, in addition to the individuals who are out there serving our country. So that's it, and I will make a motion to approve that item.
I'm going to take it out to public. Any public members wanting to comment on this item? All right, seeing none, back to Supervisor.
Second.
All right, got a motion by Supervisor Withrow, second by Supervisor Chiesa. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. Thank you. And next, we are going to public hearings. First item is to approval to reschedule a public hearing from October 15th, 2024, 6:30 to the November 5th, 2024, 9 a.m. meeting.
Good evening, Chair Graywall, members of the board, Mr. Hayes and Mr. Bose. I'm Angela Freitas, the Director of Planning Community Development. With me is Christy Dowd, our Deputy Director of Planning Services. This item is asking to reschedule the Callaway project from this evening, October 15th to November 5th, due to an error in the public hearing notification process, which under state law requires that we send out landowner notices at least 10 days prior to the hearing. This item was considered by the Planning Commission on June 20th. It was originally set for public hearing on August 20th. It was continued to September 17th at the applicant's request to allow for some site revisions and site plan revisions, and to allow us an opportunity to conduct a site visit to try to address some of the issues that have been raised at the Planning Commission. It was then continued again to October 15th. To allow for the revisions to the site plans to be completed. There was also an issue with the impactment of that meeting due to the cancellation of the September 10th meeting. We're here to set it for November 5th. Staff has been in contact with a number of parties who are in opposition to the project that had voiced opposition at the Planning Commission. At least one of those persons have expressed opposition to this being a day meeting, and especially with it being November 5th, because that is election and they work for the elections office. Unfortunately, for November, there is no night meeting option, so that would leave us for a night meeting option going to December 17th, and the applicant has a conflict in that they will not be in the country. November 5th, November 12th work both for the applicant if we didn't want to go on election day. At this point, to go on the 12th instead of the 5th. Staff does have a little bit of concern in that there has been contact and outreach to the surrounding landowners, and only one is voicing a concern with November 5th. If we switch it to the 12th, there could be others. But planning staff is ready to bring it on the 5th or the 12th. The applicant's representative is here. They are also open to meeting on the 5th or the 12th.
All right. I'm going to go out to public comment on this item for anybody wanting or having any comments comments on this item. All right, seeing none, I'm going to bring it back to the board.
So I just want to really quickly touch on the little conundrum we've got here, and again, we tried to have it on a night meeting because typically when you have something that has some controversy to it, you want to try and line it up for a nighttime meeting. Unfortunately, it didn't work out, and completely, our fault, and so we're dealing with it. Going out to December, again, the applicant's going to be out of town, and I completely understand because the dates have slipped from August to September, partially because we've asked them to redo their plans, and so that was some requests from us, and so it probably wouldn't be fair to them to go out to December. I'm okay with either one of those days, but we have to set it tonight, right? And there's no way of picking the two dates, but doing it in the form of a motion, that the 5th, and then we check with the folks. Can we poll? We cannot. All right. Because election day is, never perfect, but we always have a meeting on election day. And so then I'm going to make a motion, we stick with the 5th, November 5th.
That sounds good. I'll second that.
All right, got a motion by Supervisor Chiesa, second by Supervisor Withrow. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye. Aye. Motion carries 5-0. The item will be scheduled for the November 5th, 9 a.m. meeting.
Thank you.
All right, next, public work, or public hearing for item 7.2, to allow interested parties to be heard and ballots submitted regarding the intention to form, levy, and collect assessments for the Stanislaus County Assessment District 2024-1. And we have Andrew Malizia from Public Works, accompanied by Danny, last name? Mauricio. All right, thank you, gentlemen.
Good evening, Chairman Graywall, Supervisors, CEO Hayes, Council Bose. Tonight we have before you, we are going to actually have two, but to get going here, we have two presentations for a public hearing for an urban pocket in Area 41, Topeka, Santa Fe. And this is a item in which, apologies, in which we would like to allow interested parties to be heard and ballots submitted regarding the intention to form, levy, and collect assessments for Stanislaus County Assessment District 2024-1, Urban Pocket Area 41, Topeka, Santa Fe for fiscal year 25-26. Sorry about that. All right, thank you. Again, this is a public hearing for Stanislaus County Assessment District 2024-1, Urban Pocket Area 41, Topeka, Santa Fe for fiscal year 2025-2026. With me tonight is Danny Mauricio from our Public Works Department, and he's going to work on it, and I will work on the slides for him.
Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Today's public hearing, as mentioned before, is to allow interested parties to be heard and ballots submitted regarding the intention to form, levy, and collect assessments for Stanislaus County Assessment District 2024-1, Urban Pocket Area 41, Topeka, Santa Fe for fiscal year 2025-2026. Stanislaus County is investing American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds for the design, engineering, and construction of infrastructure in Topeka, Santa Fe neighborhood. The county seeks to establish a benefit assessment district to provide funding for the maintenance and operation of these infrastructure improvements. Here are the county's proposed improvements: sidewalk, street lighting, domestic water, curb and gutter, sanitary sewer, and storm drain facilities. These are the necessary maintenance and operation items associated with the proposed improvements: monthly street sweepings, street lighting, storm drain cleaning and maintenance, and repairs to curb, gutter, and sidewalk. Here you are able to see the area of the proposed improvements in the Topeka Santa Fe neighborhood. And here is the assessment district 2024-1 areas map. Here are a couple of pictures of the current existing conditions of the neighborhood. And above is the proposed improvements cross sections. As you can see, we are planning on adding curbs, gutter, sidewalks, and drainage improvements in the hopes that it would look similar to a once county pocket, the Shackleford neighborhood, which has been later annexed into the city of Modesto. Proposition 218 was a statewide initiative approved by the voters in November of 1996, requiring that the property owners of the proposed district or existing district, through a ballot procedure, approve specific benefit assessment and any increase of said assessment. Accessible parcels were categorized by land use, applied factors based on building size and trip generation, benefit points, and benefit points were assigned to each parcel based on special benefits and the parcel receives from the services. The district's total benefit cost for fiscal year 2025-2026 is $18,071.52, and the district total special benefit points for fiscal year 2025-2026 is 141.25. and that would bring the maximum rate per special benefit points for fiscal year 2025-2026 to $127.94. So, the assessment district's formation, there have been a couple of completed steps where on August 20th of 2024, a resolution declaring the intention to form a BAT was adopted, and on August 29th of 2024, assessment ballots were mailed out with the parcel assessments, the assessment district's information, and the public hearing information. So, current and future steps of the assessment district formation. October 15th, which is today, a public hearing is being conducted to allow the public to be heard on the proposed matters and to submit their ballots. Tomorrow, October 16th, assessment ballots will be tabulated to determine if a majority protest exists. On October 29th, 2024, the clerk of the board will submit the results to the Board of Supervisors. What does that mean? So if a majority protest does exist, if a simple majority of the assessment ballots are received in protest, a majority protest will have been filed. Proposition 218 prohibits the county from levying the annual assessments, and the district will not be formed. If a majority protest does not exist, on October 29th, 2024, staff will recommend that the Board of Supervisors find that all the territory within this district will benefit by the formation of the BAD, form the BAD, and confirm the boundaries of the district as being those described in the engineer's report, and direct the Department of Public Works to file an application for the district formation with the Stanislaus County Local Agency Formation Commission, also known as LAFCO, and approve the method of calculating the amount of the annual assessment and set the fiscal year 2025-2026 annual assessment to $127.94 per special benefit points.
With that, our staff recommendations for this evening are to find that the notice of public hearing was published in compliance with Section 6066 of the Government Code, conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding the formation of the Benefit Assessment District Number 2024-1, Urban Pocket Area 41, Topeka, Santa Fe, and the levy of the annual assessments for the maintenance of improvements. Authorize the clerk of the board to oversee the tabulation of the sealed ballots and determine whether a majority protest for the assessment exists and submit the results to the Board of Supervisors at the October 29th, 2024 board meeting. That is it.
Thank you so much for the presentation. Members of the board, questions for the presenters? Supervisor Buck-Condit?
Thank you guys very much for the update. Once the benefit assessment district is put in place, and eventually the work that we have scheduled to be done takes place, our intent is the city of Riverbank may eventually at some point annex that area into the city. Does that benefit district stay with that certain area forever, or does that benefit a district go away after the annexation?
Yes, a benefit assessment district will go along during the annexation procedures, unlike a county service area typically would basically be dissolved during the annexation proceedings, but with these.
That would be up to LAFCO though, right?
I'm sorry?
If I'm correct, would that be up to LAFCO whether that stays?
That's correct. That's part of the process of the annexation.
Thank you.
Quick question. So do we anticipate doing this for multiple others of these? We're going to do this for each one of these unincorporated areas, county pockets, to the extent we need to. As we get into each one of these, I know we've listed 7 of these areas here, probably going to do this for each one of them. Is that right?
That's correct, yes. Unless there's certain instances where, for instance, a lighting district or landscaping district may already exist, and those want to be included, but other services will be.
Okay, perfect, thank you.
All right, any other questions? Members of the board? I'm going to take this out to public. Any members of the public wanting to comment on this? All right, seeing none, I'm going to bring it back to...
Mr. Chairman, Liz Kane, Clerk of the Board, I'd just like to announce that before the close of the hearing, this is a time that if there's any members of the public that would like to turn in their ballot, they need to do that prior to the close of the hearing if there's anybody here today.
Any ballots, gentlemen? All right, seeing none. bring it back to the board with, and close the public hearing and entertain a possible motion with staff recommendations.
Motion to approve staff recommendation.
I'll second that.
Motion by Supervisor Buck-Condit, second by Supervisor Withrow. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
All right, motion carries 5-0. Thank you. Next item, item 7.3, public hearing, Stanislaus County Assessment District 2024-5, Urban Pocket Area 31, Kenwood Star for fiscal year 2025-2026. Both same presenters, and thank you.
Thank you very much. Andrew Malizia, Deputy Director of Public Works, our Development Services, Special Projects, and Traffic Engineering teams. Again, tonight before you, we have a public hearing for the Stanislaus County Assessment District 2024-5, Urban Pocket Area 31, Kenwood Star for fiscal year 2025 and 2026. With me tonight is Danny Mauricio. Danny,
Good afternoon. This public hearing is to allow interested parties to be heard and ballots submitted regarding the intentions to form, levy, and collect assessments for the Stanislaus County Assessment District 2024-5 Urban Pocket Area 31 Kenwood Star for fiscal year 2025-2026. Stanislaus County is investing American Rescue Plan Act funds, ARPA funds, for the design, engineering, and construction of infrastructure in the Kenwood Star neighborhood. County seeks to establish a benefit assessment district, a BAD, to provide funding for the maintenance and operations of these infrastructure improvements. Here are the county's proposed improvements: sidewalk, domestic water, curb and gutter, sanitary sewer, and storm drain facilities. These are the necessary maintenance and operation items associated with the proposed improvements: monthly street sweepings, storm drain cleaning and maintenance, and repairs to curb, gutter, and sidewalk. Here is the area of proposed improvements for the Kenwood Star neighborhood. And here's the assessment district map for 2024-5, and again, Kenwood Star neighborhood. Here are the existing conditions of the neighborhood. And here you will see the proposed improvements, cross-sections of the neighborhood, where we're looking at widening the roads, adding curb, gutter, sidewalk, as well as drainage improvements. Below is the Shackleford neighborhood, in which at one point was a county pocket that was further improved and later was annexed by the city of Modesto. Proposition 218 was a statewide initiative approved by the voters in November 1996, requiring that the property owners of the proposed district or existing district through a ballot procedure approve specific benefit assessments and any increase of said assessments. Where accessible parcels were categorized by land use, applied factors based on building size and trip generation, and benefit points were assigned to each parcel based on the special benefit the parcel receives from the services. The district's total special benefit cost for fiscal year 2025 is $16,346.43 cents. The district total special benefit points for fiscal year 2025-2026 is 312.97. And that brings the maximum rate per special benefit point for fiscal year 2025-2026 to $52.23. There have been some steps already completed for the assessment district formation, where on August 20th of 2024, a resolution declaring the intention to form a benefit assessment district was adopted. And on August 29th of 2024, the assessment ballots were mailed out with the parcel's assessment and the assessment district's information and the public hearing information. Where do we stand now and the future? Today, October 25th, 2024, a public hearing is being conducted to allow the public to be heard on the proposed matters and to submit their ballots. Tomorrow, October 16th of 2024, assessment ballots will be tabulated to determine if a majority protest exists. And on October 29th of 2024, the clerk of the board will submit the results to the Board of Supervisors. If a majority protest exists, a simple majority of the assessment ballots are received in protest, a majority protest will have been filed. Proposition 218 prohibits the county from levying the annual assessment. The district will not be formed. If a majority protest does exist, on October 29th of 2024, staff will recommend that the Board of Supervisors find that all of the territory within the district will benefit by the formation of the PAD, form the PAD, and confirm the boundary of the district as being those described in the engineer's report. And direct the Department of Public Works to file an application for the district formation with the Stanislaus County Local Agency Formation Commission, LAFCO, and approve the method for calculating the amount of the annual assessment, and also set the fiscal year 2025-2026 annual assessment at $52.23 per special benefit point.
Our staff recommendations for you this evening are to find that the notice of public hearing was published in compliance with Section 6066 of the Government Code, conduct a public hearing to receive comments regarding the formation of the Benefit Assessment District number 2024-5, Urban Pocket Area 31, Kenwood Star, and the levy of the annual assessments for the maintenance of improvements. Authorize the clerk of the board to oversee the tabulation of the sealed ballots and determine whether a majority protest for the assessment exists, and submit the results to the Board of Supervisors at the October 29th, 2024 board meeting. And as mentioned before, when the public hearing has begun, there will be an opportunity for anyone to speak or submit their ballots, and ballots will be accepted up until the closure of the public hearing.
Any questions by members of the board?
No, we need to change the acronym from BAD to something else.
Marketing's got to get involved in that, I think.
All right. I'm going to take it out to the public for any comments on this item. All right, seeing none, is anybody going to turn in their ballot? Is it okay if I say that, or do you have to say it to make it official? All right, no ballots. Bring it back to the board for a possible motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
Motion by Supervisor Chiesa, second by Supervisor Withrow. All in favor, please indicate by saying aye.
Aye.
Aye, motion carries 5-0. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Thank you. Presentations appreciated. And next we have, there's no discussion items, correspondence, acknowledge receipt of correspondence referred recommended on the agenda. Board of Supervisor reports. Any members of the board that have anything that they want to report to the public? Seeing none. Legislative fiscal and management report, Chief Executive Officer.
No report this evening.
No report, thank you, good man. All right, we're gonna bring it back, and meeting is adjourned at 7:16.